My name is Dax, and I will be ranking the devs that were ranked on the devs get ranked series. It's a series about the developer Outmiles and like maybe of its employees getting into PvP from Pixelings and fighting out. So first off, so S is obviously the best. T is the worst, but I will probably differentiate a little bit. S is if those like just specifically what it defines to be an S tier is that you have a solid playstyle, like you actually can play it with intentionality. You understand how it works, and you can occasionally beat like ladder those in like ladder. So yeah, pretty good. A is almost there, just needs a little bit more help, but they could be a really strong player in the future. But who knows? B is more in the middle. They might be able to win against those who are lower ranked than them, but I would not expect them to win against any of the higher ranked players at all. C is just they have the instinct. It's just they need more time to develop it. And D is obviously very bad. They just don't understand how to play Pixelings and are not capable of it, or not very capable of it. So I guess let's go look at the first ones. So starting off in D tier, I believe it was the only person to ever lose the first devs ranked was Chloe, an artist. Although I do respect her as an artist, as a Pixelings player, her skill falls short there. As not only as she is the only person to have lost their first and only game in Devs Get Ranked. She looks. Sometimes she feels like she's. Sometimes feel like she's just like kind of there. She's very unwilling. Let's go watch a few clips then. So number one.
Very nice. Everything's very nice.
All right. So obviously, when you look at her team, she's running obviously Naza. There's Ozzy, but there's not really anything that's particularly offensive that she really makes use of here. Her team is very offensive, but she doesn't really make use of it. Oh, there she is. She's got a Scorch. We'll see if she follows up. Right now, she has no idea what's going on. Right now, her best option here is, even though it's higher, I would recommend actually using an Energize here so that she can go get extra damage on the Lulu. But I don't think she has an instinct for that, so she ends up letting it get by. Because she just forgets she does not have the spatial awareness. That's why I'm putting her in D tier. Let's continue around. She doesn't really have a defensive. She doesn't really have any kind of like instinct to like get out of the way. But that's obvious because she's just kind of playing. She doesn't barely. I don't even think she knows controls that well. She knows how to swap, but she does not have the like ability to play with intentionality as you need to play in Pixelings. So yeah, D tier. Maybe if she like developed the instinct for playing Pixelings, she would get C tier. But otherwise, I wouldn't not rank her any higher than D tier. And again, if you want to know why I'm ranking these developers and like how am I actually qualified to like rank these people, I would say I'm probably the current like I am probably one of the only active, like competitive folk of Pixelings. I if you give me enough time to prepare, I will be able to beat pretty much everyone, and I just have like the general like knowledge and skills to beat pretty much like whoever. Although there are people who just have better instincts and like talent for the game, I just have the experience on my side rather. Like you can probably go shout out at Technic. There's Lindercon. There's Maurice. There's WTS. But I would say in terms of like pure skill and technique and like mastery over the game, I would say I am probably the most likely. Maurice comes at a close second because he just uses just random teams, and Technic at third at pure mastery. In pure like gameplay, maybe it's different because they have the better instinct for that. But if you want to talk about analysis and everything else, I am probably the best pick. But yeah, and the reason why I'm ranking the dubs is mainly because, well, they never really ranked it themselves, and that some of them have broken into the limelight a few years ago. So yeah, let's continue on. I believe, well, usually in the dubs get ranked, they get a lot better over time, except for like one exception, and that is maybe not Tommy got it because he can be saved for later. Let's go look. I think let's go look around at maybe. I'm probably gonna say Sebastian then. Let's go look at that, or Seb as you can call his name. All right, we're back here. This might take a while. Alright, I'm back. The video's been fixed. Alright, continue. There's always LP, and we have our players coming soon. Sounds like a skill issue. Sub, Joanne, and Giz. Well, these are probably going to be the first ones in C tier as they actually have won their first games. So we're looking at Sub right now, and you can see his lineup already. He's got a decent lineup. I would say he at least understands the fundamentals of the games and the fundamentals of team building. So I remember that Seb Billy likes like from his logs in the Discord server and everything else. He really enjoys using Lulu and the main gameplay of Lulu. If you want to have if you want to have an explanation of the Lulu gameplay, is that your main objective is to stall for long enough that you can get her ability. But Seb kind of avoided that and focused it on just getting a bunch of as many Lulu charges off at or specials off as much as possible. And you can see an early version of this. He's still working out the kings, but I feel like if he was in modern day Pixelings, he would do pretty decently. He might swap out might be better at team building, but I'll still have to rank him at maybe a C or B, and maybe a low B. But yeah, you can see. Alright, this is good stuff from Sup now. As you can see, he already has the common, like, formation that modern Pixeling players use, which is mostly two range and a tank. Sometimes that tank might be support and sometimes might be troll, but otherwise this is the main gameplay. So here has the instinct spread. Alright, meanwhile, Giz also is running Lulu, but I would say right now is ranking a bit worse than Seb, as his even though he's already doing a bit better than the person before, his spells do not match his items at all, or his pixelings at all. When most of your pixelings in the game are very low or very low HP pixelings and assassins, running 2 damage usually isn't great because you can get focused, because if one gets focused down, your damage just starts collapsing from there and it gets destroyed immediately. Meanwhile, Joanne, she's doing pretty decently. She's running the same setup as Seb, so she probably learned. So either Seb learned from Joanne or Joanne learned from Seb, but I'm probably gonna say the former. Or actually, or Seb or Joanne learned from Seb, based in the same team, or same kind of team spells and general idea. Although Seb is feeling more confident because he has 3 range. Anyways, they're decent setup. Alright. Alright, Shannon first. That's alright. But meanwhile, Seb is doing pretty decently actually. He's already got the charges off. He already knows how to swap. He's doing very well. He already has the instincts of what you would normally do. Meanwhile, Joanne's not doing that great. She does have the general idea and probably the best setup for her. And she's actually, let me take back my stance. She's doing pretty well. Alright, he has the general ideas a bit down. Since this is an early game, you might want to protect yourself as quickly as possible. Alright, has instincts to know when his pixels are low, so that's also really nice. But the team is probably gonna knock him down with a few picks for me. A bit of damage over there. Good kill. Or actually, no, not kill yet. Barely survives. Normally, I would try to go for maybe the Sponsy, as that heal will be really annoying soon, and you can just tank with the Lulu and then recover over here, but that's also nice. Anyways, he's still trying to focus on that kill, which is a good habit, as kills are usually something you just need to focus on, and he knows how to do it. So he can at least play with some intentionality.
He's not destroying my shields, which is pretty good.
Yeah, he understands. Alright, yeah, not that great, but yeah. Oh, that's a bit bad gameplay over there. Now he's lost his main really healthy range, which is really important if your opponent has damage spells. And more tanky, and also since it's on the field, he could just swap down and blocked it, but you know, this is during the early parts of the game. But even if he had improved a little bit, I would say still pretty low, because he might just because he has the tendency to just forget a lot. Probably Cat's doing really well, or Joanne's doing pretty well, but you know, yeah, very good. Yeah, very. Here's what I mean by by losing that Lulu too early on. Now, since his opponent has a damage spell, that it compounds, and now since all of his range are dead, he can't really focus that Falcon really well. And but he does recover. He does attempt to recover, which is a good sign. He just probably could be been a bit faster. Then, but yeah, Firecat's doing really well. It's very unlikely that he will lose anytime soon. But yeah, that damage is gonna be actually insane. I'll barely survive that. But Firecat's probably doing the best so far with his actually no, Seb is doing a lot better than everyone else, because he knows how to defend. Since he's making use of that, he can always go for that soon. There he is. Shannon's dead. Anyways, continuing, but doing very well right now. We'll see who gets the flawless. Yeah. But yeah, after seeing all their gameplay, they're doing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that while Giz does have potential, he's probably gonna go in the bottom of C tier. And Joanne is second over here, and Sebastian's probably doing the best. Oh no, he like this. Unfortunately, if Giz got more training, he does have the general idea, but he does a lot better. LP, well, I'm probably gonna say the top of. Let's actually get not D tier, but shit, or Scheist. All right, and then Joanne right there. Yep, she is very good. LP is an interesting case. Even though he hasn't worked in the game itself, I would say he is probably the best out of everyone right now. Just based up purely on the fact that he still did at one point actively play the game and learn from us a little bit. As you can see, we can probably show him in. As you can probably see in one of his, even in his dev logs, he's gotten good enough to have his actual specific playstyle. Which is, even though he runs Tank Buster, he actually does have like a general playstyle that helps him out a bit more. Like he plays with intentionality, and he has everything he does kind of has a reason, I guess. Like the reason why he poisons everything is like, he always likes poison a lot. Because since he's running a lot of stall, that poison is gonna help his Martia just get kills easier. Yeah, he's going to continue. No, yep. That poison is just doing a lot. Even his spells are actually quite useful. Obviously, get stalling. In those days there weren't really any kind of like ideas on how to like protect your pixels until people learned about swapping out. Another one out. Yeah. But yeah, the general idea is literally just to stall out, making use of rejuve so you can get extra damage. Oh, that might be a mistake soon, because he got his double. Making use of poison, he's doing really well again. But yeah, mainly stalling out, ramping up for Marcia. But right now, normally this would be A tier. Even though this wasn't his best thing, we can still show you what he's like at his best. Let's go outer minds. Let's go with this video. It'll be live then. This one. Yeah, there is. Let's go look around. Give me a bit. No, not here. Not here. Give me a bit. Oh, I found it. Alright, here's where it starts. Actually, no, this might be the wrong one. Because this is where Watership, and I didn't think he won this one. Yeah, it starts going down here. Everything is focused. Actually, no, he barely wins this one. Yeah. And he, for a Pixelings player, he's actually quite decent. I won't say he's the best, but he can deal with fight with some of us every time. So very decent matchup for him. I'm gonna look around a bit more. Alright, I'm back. There it is. This is the game that I'm talking about. Like, puts him in S tier above everyone else. Because this game is against the actual meta of the top tier during this time, which was glitchy for support, as glitching is not only hard to kill, but has the highest damage out of all the spell minions. So combining that with Infernal Bolt is very powerful. But yeah, what he did during this game was actually very, very like well, and he won this game. It was actually really hype. But again, let's go see what he does. He makes a very obvious mistake here because what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use a spell and then swap this Marfa out for glitchy so you can get the extra damage and ramp up. But since he made this mistake, it gives LP enough to ramp up some damage and only leaves glitchy at 25%, as you'll see. But he will have to swap out to the middle. Oh, he made another mistake. Instead of just swapping out, swap over here, or swapping from here to here, he and maintaining the Martia's damage, he instead decided to swap swap glitchy in early, which gets rid of all the strength and makes Swordy a lot worse. So you will see that how that punishes how LP will punish it. Continue with damage. LP's just trying to ramp up damage and trying to stall out a little bit. But he does have like the general idea of how to win against this. Oh, yeah, that wasn't his best moment, but he will be able to just overcome that. He doesn't really understand how to manipulate damage right now because he's very tilted. But yeah, general idea is that he's really just gonna have to try to block this at all costs. Because since he's running up with two heavies, yeah, he'll barely live on that because he used all his abilities too early, and which will give him just enough energy to make use of the heavy and swap out. Good job. and he will get a kill. Follows up for another, and then now he's just really on the back foot now. Double damage, but it doesn't matter because he's just really down in development. Following up with that. That mistake actually cost him a lot. Probably better option. LP could have done better here by swapping Bob to the back, increasing his damage, and potentially going for a kill on here. And since that was crit, that would actually killed Glitchy. And then absolutely ruined Key, but he didn't. So it's fine. He loses that. I will say that LP that stops him from truly being like being able to compete with the best players is that he doesn't really understand how to make use of his resources as much as like a pro player. Because pro players would normally use that low HP to sacrifice and then go for the kill. But since he's in front of that, he should probably save that and heal up. He has the instinct, making sure that he can't get killed. And GG's. It was clutch, but he did well. This is why. Alright, this is why I say OP's probably the best out of everyone else. Because he's just spent so much time in Pixelings playing it and interacting with the community that he's picked up some stuff. And that's why I would say he's the best. Moving on. Moving on, I would say in A tier, there's probably Arlekin and I think his name was Mooses, yeah. Arlekin's probably slightly better, but the only one I've actually fought against is Mooses. But the reason why I put Mooses below Arlekin is that even though they have like probably similar game knowledge, it's just that Mooses doesn't really have like the speed, I would say, to fight players, you know? Let me explain. This is gonna take a while. Boom 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 boom. There it is. You are seeing the gameplay here that he already knows how to pressure with poison, obviously. His team building is a lot better. Because since he's gonna rely on one range, he has to have a faster heal. Because the amount of mistakes that you can make are really high, and having a slower heal like Rejuve is really dangerous. So his team building is actually really good right now, based on the meta currently that was at the time, which was 2 tanks. Because people didn't know how to make use of supports yet. Good teams. Alright, good make use of poison, but that was a bit slow, so I had to dock some points to that. Redirecting on to the Falcon, but Falcon is doing pretty well right now, and with that heal, he will be fine. He knows how to attack, which is why I give him an A tier. And ooh, this is something that most players don't really know about. It's a little technique called turn control. Because there are a lot of types of turn control that you can do. But this one is the one that involves you having to swap in another pixeling so that you can maintain pressure and your advantage before their because you maintain your team is attacking first while their team is now attacking second, which is actually a good strategy. Especially since Guppy is probably one of the better pixels to swap in here, and the only one, because with poison you're just gonna be willing them down, and then once you make use of the stun, you can swap Falcon back in for extra damage. But yeah, he's right now Mooses is only worried about pressuring, just making use of poison.
I love poison because it's
You can see his opponent not really knowing how to make use of everything.
like that.
Continuing with this,
Ouch.
continue
It's a
with
good
pressure.
attack or defense, whatever the opponent does. Oh, that's gonna hurt though.
Yeah, his opponent right here did decently because if he had swapped, he would have gotten eaten by taking a bunch of damage from Shannon. So since he did not,
Ouch.
so he's doing really good.
So far.
Good, good on him for not swapping out because right now it is actually very low concern to like have to swap out Jennifer. You can just let Stefan take some damage and he'll be
I was
fine.
using
Continue
healer.
with pressure.
Whatever. It's good.
Swapping out here, it's alright, but it's probably not the best idea.
Good
But
against
yeah,
both.
still like viable. Right now, after this stun, I would recommend just swapping in a range, and you can get your extra damage in immediately. Play, but since he's only a like a player, he just kind of uses it. I guess the reason why he's not A, he might be B at this point. I'm not sure, but even he expects it. Hold up, yeah,
Oh, I'm stupid. I tried to poison Jenny. That won't work.
yeah. But does have the instinct, I'll say. Yeah.
That would be.
But yeah, that poisons, that stun's gonna be very useful for Muses, especially ramps up, but he still does not. Now double damage is coming around.
Feels great so far. Ouch.
He has the opportunity to heal, but he doesn't have the idea of just using his bubble to block the damage, especially since trolls.
Yeah. Way to go, Stefano. He's my man.
Continuing along the lines,
Go back with
that
Jenny.
stun's just gonna do a lot of damage.
Healer bits.
He ramps up his
Charger goes.
or he is trying to
Shannon's
activate his charge, making use of the heal as well.
perfect.
And he actually manages to get a flawless, which got him.
And you cannot.
So yeah, his Bruce game on ranked is actually quite well. Meanwhile, his other games are not as great. Makes a lot of rookie mistakes.
Waiting. Waiting for what? No. Not paying attention.
Yeah, don't pay attention. Could be worse, but it's actually quite alright. Because you can still do things like swap in Falcon and block.
Okay, let's just guppy out.
But yeah, it's very difficult. As you so that yeah, as you see him swapping in Falcon, so to maintain the turn advantage
Yay, more power.
and making use of poison, continuing that. But yeah, now he's at quite disadvantage since the losing his range is
Sometimes
actually quite bad.
let him take a bruising so his passive can proc.
Right now he could probably block with a lot of variety of things.
Whatever, keep dying from poison, whatever you want.
Yeah, but Avalanche really enjoys making use of their poison. Mainly because they don't have to think as much, not think as much. They don't have to worry about pressuring the opponent as that poison does it for them.
Move fast and move guppy back.
Although that's probably not his best move, because that kind of versus him a bit.
Can't heal there.
Now make use of the bubble, and you'll be actually great.
Other pixeling that you have, my friend. Shannon.
Continuing. Probably not the best idea to poison Lola at the time of this, since since Jennifer is so low, you can just use that poison to kill, but it's always alright.
Oh,
You gotta be careful though.
target Stefano is not the best thing. Fast enough.
He probably is based on the idea that poison does so low damage that you just shouldn't use it at all.
Not good. I wasn't paying much
Yeah.
attention. Yeah, I wasn't. Not good. It's not good at all.
Yeah. in the old days, the amount of just animation skips that there were in the game were just like really annoying. So yeah, maybe I would say the bottom of A tier, maybe B at most. He has the idea. It's just yeah. You know, Deb's good when he can make use of a lot of ranged. Yeah, he messes up a little bit, but you know he has the good intentions. Yeah, a lot of Debs like poison. It's just really useful because how spammable it is as well. And making and that and the reason why I'm gonna say his team right now is probably better than the first teams is mainly because of the idea that since remember it's making use of a lot of tinky stuff, whereas before it was making use of a lot of maybe assassins and maybe one support. The point of this team is that you get a lot. You can just make use of a lot of damage, but your pixelings will be able to like absorb it and deal a lot of damage back. So decent setup here. Not particularly best troll RNG. Right. They're alright. It's just he really needs to consider that who's getting most focused. Continuing on the lines, he makes use of Inferno. Right now he's just swapping in, which he does, and maintain the advantage. But yeah, he's doing really well. Bubble is actually quite annoying here, but you always have options to counter it. Takes a while. Now maybe save up the poison a bit longer, cause you're about to get your berserk, and then destroying that bubble over there is actually quite well good. Maybe yeah, but yeah, you might not know it. It probably didn't couldn't have killed. So doing that might have been good because in probably about 20 seconds it'll be double damage, and he'll probably be able to last long enough that he'll just one shot it. Ooh, that sacrifice, that loss is hard, but you always have comebacks issues. Yeah, he'll barely win this. But yeah, the difficulty of doing that kind of stuff is he wins, but he did make a lot of mistakes. He gets up a lot better though. The reason why I give him the A tier is that making use of just like multiple range is something that, and being capable of using it is always good. He goes for another few games. Continuing. Oh wait, no, he's talking about his opponent. Sniping team, but he does not get sniping. Making use of pressure, good job. You see him making use of his defense a lot better. No, I will say don't play like this nowadays because you will get your ass beat. Or beat. Yeah, making use of the spells. And yeah, he does a lot better. Obviously, maybe but yeah, he writes a lot. Making use of the pixelings. Yeah. But yeah, you even know you know that even our minds knows that this guy is not probably not the best. because he overlays it with, like, meanwhile Arlequin is like, Arlequin place it first, like, get the advantage. I would say the only time that you would want to place Falcon last is if you're very unfamiliar with their swaps, in which case you will want to be able to see how they swap beforehand, and then you can go for the Falcon swap. Because when you place the Falcon in the beginning, you're really trying to push your advantage as quickly as possible, and that you're very confident in that you can read their swaps, even though you don't even know what they are yet. Anyways, continuing, making use of the heals, optional. But yeah, he really should ramp up his damage. But yeah, he's probably maybe B. He understands what to do, but anyways, continuing. MC Mikey. Going very yeah. Actually, wait. I rescind my statement immediately. I rescind my statement immediately. Immediately. Surprisingly, 2 L's. So yeah, this is my tier list. LP's at the top, just mainly because he plays longer. But if I had to say who has the best potential and understanding of his gameplay, I would say Arlakin. But right now, LP is the current best player at Mines. But who knows? We might see that change. Maybe I'll go fight Arlakin and maybe teach him some stuff, and they'll be able to have fun. So yeah, my name's Dax. You're watching the Our Minds tier list of Pixelings, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.